update you might have on Marcus?
Yeah, I don't see Davenport playing. We're still trying to decide what to do. We've gotten some other tests back. We do not feel this is season ending, but don't see him playing this week.
Okay, let's talk about Marcus Davenport. All right, you heard what Dan Campbell said. We got the test back, and we don't think it's season-ending injury, and we just trying to see what to do with him. Man, let me tell you that, man. Once you get old enough, you start to be able to speak human. You start to be able to read between the lines. You know what I'm saying? Some people never learn how to read through people's bullshit. But if you pay attention, you're able to comprehend human language, you will be able to read through the bullshit. And it's bullshit. You know, he might come back for the playoffs. He might come back at the end of the season. Oh, we thought we was gonna come back. This is just this kind of showing me they don't want to face the Piper. That's what it's showing to me, that they can't hold their L. They can't admit that they was wrong. And then, you know, with Dan Campbell, I did the video with him on 97 Won the Ticket, saying that we're still good. We like Al Qaeda, Muhammad, and like I said, I just see things for what they really are. Okay, if you like Al Qaeda, Muhammad a lot, okay, why wasn't he starting over Marcus Davenport? That's all I'm saying. Why wasn't he starting over Marcus Davenport? That's all I'm saying. So it's sometimes just common sense, and I get how y'all want to be hopeful and jubilee, and you know, I'm gonna say this, man. As a man in this world, you are not afforded the luxury, especially in this time period, of being hopeful, of optimism. You know, you're not afforded that luxury. You got to remember, us as men, our primary thing is to expect the worst. Expect the worst. We bracing for the worst case scenario. That's what type of time we on. We bracing for the worst case scenario, and at the end of the day, if it's some lesser or the best case scenario, and we just taking that as brownie points. But for the most part, they don't want to admit, oh, we just trying to see. No. Basically, he got an injury, and they said, okay, it's a chance if you rehab it, he can come back. He ain't coming back. If he come back, he gonna get injured again. So just admit, hey, you know what? We believed in a loser, a bum-ass loser, and that's just what it is. And it's okay. It's okay. And it's okay. Shit happens. You know, you wanted to be cheap, and it was cool. Nobody cared if they was cheap. You know, Levon Enrique, he showed you he can stay healthy for a season. You brought him back for the cheap. Okay. But at least have some security behind your cheapness. And behind Enrique, they got Roy Lopez, they got Tyleek Williams. They got a Lee McNeil. So they put some padding behind Lee McNeil and Levon Enrique. You know, they put some padding in the linebacker room. They get Rodrigo back. They bought Barnes back. They redid Anazzoni deal for a little bit. I just hate people that drive behind me and they can't drive, bro. Like, you want to be over here, you want to be over there. Where do you want to be, brother? Like, this is so many foreign people who can't drive, bro. And I just found out when they come over here, they just get them a driver's license, and it shows. Can't stand people. And as a man, you should know how to drive. As a woman, I kind of get it. So be it. There's too many males out here who can't drive, bro. For women that watch me, ain't that a turn off? You get in a car with a dude, and I get if he young. You get in a car with a dude, a grown-ass man, and he can't drive a vehicle. I feel like that should be a major turnoff. That's an ick. That's an ick that me and the women agree with. As a grown man, especially if you bald and you got gray hair and you can't drive a motor vehicle, if I'm you, female, I'll call Uber. But they don't want to admit that they wrong, bro. And, you know, that's one thing you notice about old honoring men. As men get old, they want to say everything, but I was wrong and I'm sorry. These motherfuckers buy you a mansion before they say so. I don't have a problem with admitting I was wrong. I don't really give a hell. All these YouTubers, they disappear for a couple of days, then they act like something ain't happened when they was wrong. They come with the territory. Ain't everybody 100% right? Everybody ain't 100% right. Ain't nothing wrong, man. You wrong. Just be like, yeah, we wrong. We got to make a move for some more. And they let a little bit of everybody leave. And then Jadeveon Clowney, he got in like a trespassing charge for parking his car somewhere it shouldn't have been parked. I mean, I don't really understand it. But sometimes it's about the principle. They let Judon go, and what be it? Their best case scenario, to be honest with you, what was supposed to happen was what's the brother's name? Rackstraw and Terrion was supposed to step up and be their starting corners. That was the plan. Keeping Meek as insurance, keep Brian Branch as nickel insurance in case Meek had to go to the outside. That was the plan. And Rackstraw and Terrion both got problems with staying healthy. Therefore, had they stayed healthy, the corners, then you would have spent that money on Reed, you would have spent that on Josh Sweat. I'm of the belief maybe they should have just moved up and took the kid from Penn State. But also they can go just trade for Kayvon Thibodeaux and be done with it. But then there's durability issues with him. Then you got to pay him pretty soon. That's why they should have drafted a guy. We were just talking about that. Oh, you should have got James Pierce. They couldn't. Atlanta, should have did more to get above Atlanta and took him. So, it is what it is. But they don't want to admit they wrong. He done. And he should retire. You can't stay healthy. People in New Orleans don't. It ain't nothing personal about the man. I'm pretty sure that dude's a good brother, man. He don't give me vibes as a bad guy. But any NFL player with a septum ring, that's damn near on par with painting your fingernails. Any dude with a septum ring in his nose, what's up, Doc? But, it's a wrap. I know it's a wrap. Well, we thought he was going to come back. Just come back like, motherfucker gone for the season. And that just lets you know kind of where they at. They like, oh, we don't want to admit he was wrong. Y'all was wrong. And we all knew y'all was going to be wrong. This wasn't like, and that's why it's even harder, for them to admit that they was wrong because everybody knew this. The reason the Lions won't win a Super Bowl is because of how frugal the ownership is. Nothing more, nothing less. That's why they won't win a championship. The ownership is frugal. There you have it. So if you wanted to know why it is the way it is, the ownership is mad frugal. So before we kind of dig into that, that's why. But ultimately, he's done. Oh, we just trying to see? Nah. You can't bullshit a retired bullshitter. And I was a retired bullshitter. I was that kid, like middle school, elementary school, nigga had all F's and bring them all up to C's. The last 2 weeks, do all my missing work and all that. Okay. That's why I feel like boys and girls should have two different schoolings. After about the after the 5th grade, I think girls should go to charm school and boys should go to military. That's what I feel. And then after they do the charm school military with their school curriculum infused into that, then I think, you know, if you really want to go on to go to college and you want to go on, she ain't paying no attention. I swear, people just don't have no sense of surrounding. That's why girls be getting cracked up the head. But you know, I feel like after they get out of school, you know, after they get out of middle school, and if they got the grades to go on to be a scholar, to go do something, or if they want to go into plumbing, electrician, whatever, or or if they bad, they don't want to get their life together. Either you give them a second chance at doing trades, or you continue to have them go to the military. You make them go on the you go make them continue to train for the military. That's what I would do. I bet a lot of these motherfuckers stay out of jail. I guarantee you, a lot of these you wouldn't have niggas on the street no more. You wouldn't have these ignorant people here. That's what if I was running shit, that's what I would be doing. But that's just my opinion on it. But hit the link in the description. Follow me on X, Instagram, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine. Peace.